An introduction to the operating system. These are the tutorial objectives: defining an operating system, understanding the role of an operating system, and knowing the different types of windows. So at the end of this tutorial, you should be able to understand all this. First thing first, let's start with defining an operating system. And this is the most important software that runs on a computer. The work of this software is to manage the computer's memory and processes, as well as all of its softwares and hardwares. It also allows you to communicate with the computers without knowing how to speak the computer's language. Without this software, your computer is useless. This is also the software that determines the feel and the look of your computer. So if you switch to a different computer, you may see as if it has a different look and feel. It's only that maybe it is using a different version of an operating system or a complete different operating system. Sometimes you may be learning different programs at the same time, and the computer requires to, all these programs requires to access your computer's CPU, memory, and also the storage. It is the mandate of the CPU to make sure that each and every program is accessing all these at the same time or any time that it requires them. So the work of the OS is to coordinate all of these operations to make sure that each program gets what it needs. Types of OSs that we have. One of the most common that we have allowed, we call it Windows. The screenshot shows the current version of Windows released in 2015. That's how it looks like. That's the feel and the look of the current Windows. Another one is Linux. That's the feel and the look of Linux. It's not commonly used, but is still allowed. Mostly used in servers, as you are going to see in details later. Mac OS X. That's the feel and the look of Mac OS X. People prefer this look from the one of Windows and even Linux, but it's a bit expensive, as we are going to see. Each operating system's UI has a different look and feel, as you can see in the background. If you switch to a different operating system, it may seem unfamiliar at first. However, modern operating systems are designed to be easy to use, and most of the basic principles are the same. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface, and it is usually the interface between you or between the user and the operating system. So different computers may have different operating system, but they all have the same GUI. That makes all computers to be operated the same or almost the same. Microsoft Windows. We're going to look at each and every of the previous mentioned operating systems, starting with the most common one, Microsoft Windows. In the screenshots, another screenshot shows the previous or the current versions of Microsoft Windows, Windows 10 and Windows 7 respectively. This operating system called Windows was created by was created by a company called Microsoft in the mid-1980s. However, over the years, there have been very many different versions of Windows, but the most recent ones are Windows 10, released in 2012, Windows 8, Windows 10, released in 2015, Windows 8 released in 2012, Windows 7 released in 2009, Windows Vista 2.7. We also have Windows XP released in 2002. Windows comes preloaded on most new PCs, which makes it to be the most popular operating system in the world. By this we mean when you purchase a computer, it will always come with an operating system preloaded on it, so you don't need to purchase any. The other operating system, we call it Mac OS X. That's the feel and the look of Mac OS X again. And it is a line of an operating system created by Apple. So remember, these are just programs which are programmed by people. So this one was created from the company we call Apple, and it comes preloaded on all new Macintosh computers. Remember, you have two types of computers: personal computers and Macintosh computers. When you buy a Macintosh computers, it will come preloaded with Mac OS X in it. They are also commonly known as Macs. All of the recent versions are known as OS X, pronounced as OS 10, and the specific versions include El Captain in 2015, that is when it was released; Yosemite, it was released in 2014; Mobalisk, it was released in 2013; Mountain Lion back in 2012, and Orion in 2010. It's clear that each and every year the Apple releases a new version of Mac OS X. Mac OS X users accounts for less than 10% of the global operating system, much lower than that of Windows users, of whom are more than 80%. That's according to StarCount Global Stats. One reason for this is that Apple computers tend to be more expensive. However, many people do prefer the look and feel of Mac OS X over Windows. Linux, that's the feel and look of Linux. Pronounced as Linux, is a family of open source operating systems. These are operating systems that can be modified by anyone around the world, and this is different from proprietary softwares like Windows, which can only be modified by the company that owns it. So Linux is a different kind of an operating system, of which you have the knowledge of programming. You can be able to reprogram it. We call such programs open source. Those that have restrictions, we call them proprietary softwares. The advantages of Linux are that it is free. We have more distributions, and there are many versions you can choose from. Linux users accounts for less than 2% of the global operating system. However, most servers learn Linux because it's relatively easy to customize. Servers are those huge computers that stores huge sets of data. We have been talking of operating systems that are specifically designed for desktop and laptops computers. However, mobile devices such as phones, tablets, computers, and MP3 players are different from desktop and laptops, although they are themselves computers, but they have a slight difference. So they run a different operating system that is specifically designed for them. Examples of such include the operating system that we call Apple iOS, from those devices designed or manufactured by Apple, and Google Android for those devices from Microsoft. In the screenshot, you can see an iOS running on an iPad. End of tutorial. Make sure to join me in the next lesson, Microsoft Word. Take care.